Hello, and welcome to another episode of Tools of the Day, mystery item from the forge. And last time I showed you this intriguing machine. I've mounted it up on a post leg vise so I can demonstrate it a little bit better this time. And we had lots and lots of different responses, messages and comments left below. And they ranged from a yarn winder, a hand mill, hand-powered washing machine, knitting machine, and the bottom part of a honey centrifuge, which were all interesting ideas, and I can see where all of them have come from. The way this works is it does use yarn, and that's what this is at the top here, with a little missing piece, which is a spring. This is a yarn mast, so you have a spool of yarn here that goes up through these holes, through the little sprung weighted thing and down. It then goes into this arm here, which goes around the outside, and it just goes round and round and round, counting on this little brass counter here. I'll bring you in for a little bit more detail. So this is the part that the yarn goes through, and it feeds it round the top edge of this drum here with these little slots, and the missing parts from here are little needles with a hook on the top. And as this handle is wound, the drum rotates, and in here is a little cam or a pair of cams, and you can just see this little arm here. When this goes in one direction, it pulls this arm up a ramp and then operates it that way, and there's another one on this side that does it in the opposite direction. And as the cam goes round inside, it pushes the bottom of these needles and it pulls them down, and that creates a stitch, and each one of these holds a needle. So there's, I don't know how many on this one, but it's over 100 needles to operate, and it goes round and round. It's hollow right the way down through the center, and the amount that these needles drop up and down is regulated with this little device here, and that operates the height of the cam. So if you want bigger stitches or smaller stitches, you operate it on that. Now, these machines, as I said, were very popular in the 1800s, and they are stocking makers or sock machines, also known as circular sock machines or circular knitting machines. Now, their origins date right the way back to the 1500s. A William Lee invented a knitting frame in 1589, which was a flat board and several hooks, and it was really complicated to use and only produced a flat knitting, which then needed to be sewn up. So Mr. Brunel, a French engineer, who was incidentally the father of Isambard Kingdom Brunel, the quite famous engineer, he built a circular machine in 1816, but it didn't have the ability to run backwards and forwards like this one, and could only make a continuous tube, which needed to be cut and stitched up, and that was also a little problematic. So these came about in the sort of 1840s, I believe, somewhere around there, and they continued to be made until about 1920. And just about every country in the world produced their own versions of it, and they were very popular. There's, as I said before, a resurgence now of people who are refurbishing these and reusing them. This one myself was rescued from a pile of rust. It was all seized up and nothing worked on it at all. I've yet to find a series of needles that will fit this, and the little spring that holds the needles in here. I think I can get the spring, but I'm not sure about the needles. So if anyone knows, it's missing its maker's plate here, so I don't know the particular make of this one. But if anybody can identify it for me, if any of those in those circular knitting machine circles could find out what make this is, what model or what size needles, or where I could get some, I would much appreciate that. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for the guesses, the information. It's all fascinating stuff for me, and I appreciate that. And the next item, which I've just shown you briefly, is this here. Now, it has a series of teeth along this side, and it has an arm here, and it's made out of a couple of major sections that move. So one slides on the other. It's all wrought iron, and it has a hook on this end. So all hand forged wrought iron, quite substantial, nicely made little piece. And if you have any ideas of what it is, what it's used for, when it might have been made, perhaps even where, I would be grateful for any of that information. If you could leave your guesses and your information, your knowledge in the section below, that'd be really appreciated. Once again, if you're subscribed, that's excellent. Thank you very much. If you aren't and you want to know what this and other mystery items are, or perhaps can tell me some information about any of these, then please subscribe, hit the notification bell, so then you'll be notified when the next video comes out. So until then, I thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the process of guessing and finding out what these things are, what they're used for, how old they are, where they come from, and who invented them. Once again, thank you very much. I'll catch you again soon.